Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel today with another discussion video. And in today's discussion video, it's another discussion on links. And this was something that I've kind of been running into recently, especially with the monsters and the specific boards that people have gotten going. Now, everyone knows that Yu-Gi-Oh! In general is about building, you either are building a board, an unbreakable board at this point, and your opponent tries to disrupt you or break your board, or, you're going second and then you're trying to break your opponent's board. In many ways, it's a zero-sum game that is, between two different extremes of the spectrum there. However, what I wanted to talk about today was how that has kind of been perversely twisted in an even further way, especially recently with the introduction of links. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like links as a mechanic. I think it's an interesting mechanic that had a lot of potential and, kind of might have helped to slow down the game in a little way or, expand it out. However, I think that in the beginning, Konami had specific ideas for link monsters that they were going to release, and then they noticed that, the slowing down of the game didn't really do anything, so then in comes all of this legacy support for a whole bunch of older archetypes and things that really break the link mechanic wide open. Everything from firewalls to Borreloads to everything in between. Now the format is just speeding up, but it's all link monsters that are doing the heavy lifting. Now, why do I say that link monsters are doing a variety or a majority of the heavy lifting? Well, each of the older archetypes required different things. Fusions required, to combine monsters together. Fusions require a spell card to do it, or, a contact fusing with things on the field. Synchros require a tuner monster, in addition to that non-tuner. And XYZs require two monsters of the same level or more, and we're not able to use tokens. Links takes all of that and it throws it out the window and allows you to use any two monsters that you want. And the requirements for the stuff is a lot more generic in exchange for not maybe being as strong. So like Firewall taking 4 monsters, of any type of monster rather than, something like a Hazy Flame Basil Trice. If it had the same effect as an XYZ monster, it would definitely be a different story. But in today's kind of, discussion, one of the things that I've noticed is that these archetypes are getting a lot more centric on just pumping out as many link monsters as they can. Now, you've heard the statement like firewall loops, right? Which means assembling a board and looping Firewall Dragon and getting its effect to add things back to your hand and then special summoning more things because it's not a hard once per turn. And it is just generally utilizing all of your link monsters to get up into a firewall and to keep the momentum going against your opponent. And one of the most interesting kind of aspects of that is that now, instead of having, everyone's just sort of assembling these big boards. However, the big boards are now stronger thanks to the presence of firewalls and Borreloads, and they're all the same. Instead of, and this is the most important part, you having several different decks that each assemble their own different board, and then you have to break those boards, now every single deck that is out, save for the Pendulum Magicians, services getting out that firewall board. I've been playing Mermails, I've been playing lots of other decks, and everything is focused right now around getting Firewall Dragon out, which is kind of crazy. You're just assembling what I call the generic link board. And yeah, you can say that's the most competitive board, but is it the most long-term fun kind of strategy to have? Because now that's kind of pushed things like Ash and Ogre and, sometimes Cherries up to the forefront as players are struggling to use those cards to really stop their opponent from assembling those massive boards and, getting loops and then putting Proxy Dragons and Ebes and Trigate Magicians and stuff onto the field. That it really becomes kind of everything is just the same, playing against the same exact strategy, and that now, rather than everything servicing just making a big board, everything and every deck services just making the same big board. You can't even add synchros or XYZs or anything like that unless the deck is specifically made to handle those things, because now with links being inherently more generic, you're not having decks that come out with tuners or with monsters that are not necessarily tokens that you can use against your opponent. It's a variety. It's a very interesting kind of strategy if you think about it in that respect. That develops a lot more of what's going on in the format than not. But I don't know. I personally would like to see Yu-Gi-Oh! Get a little bit slower, but I totally understand that, it is first and foremost a profit-driven machine, and then they want to make as much money as they possibly can, doing what they possibly can to, continue that process along. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that, this whole idea of link format and assembling just the same board over and over again, do you think that's ruining the game, or do you think that it's added, the extra summoning mechanic has really added a new dimension now that we've, really gotten the time to have the mechanics soak in and become a part of the game that we know today? So yeah, let me know in the comments section below, guys. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And this has been the Mermail Master with the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.